Welcome to biology, my dear student. Today is our lecture number 16. And my dear student, we are learning organic evolution. And in organic evolution, we have started theories of organic evolution. And last class, we came to know about one of the important theory of organic evolution, that is Lamarckism, Lamarck theory. Right, everyone? So, my dear student, today let us learn about another very important theory of organic evolution. Theories of organic evolution. So, my dear student, see here a picture is displayed in front of you. So, can you identify this person? So, my dear student, this person is very important person, a very renowned person in the field of biology, and his contribution towards the world of biology is very much appreciated. So, my dear student, he is Charles Robert Darwin. So, Charles Robert Darwin, he was born on 12th February 1809 in England. And Darwin, so you have heard about Charles Darwin. So, my dear student, he was born in England. And what happened? Now, let us know something about Darwin, isn't it? So, he was born in England, and what happened? At a very early age, what happened? He was appointed as a naturalist. Okay, he was appointed as a naturalist in sheep. So you know sheep. So in sheep, what happened? You'll find that a naturalist is been appointed. So why naturalist? Because sheep are been traveling for a long distance in seas and oceans, isn't it? So again they are traveling through different environment, okay, natural environment. So because of which in sheep, what happened in England, okay, so he was appointed as a naturalist in sheep. Okay, so through that appointment, what happened in sheep, he have started his travel across the world. And during his voyage, okay, so voyage through the Weddell. So through the Weddell he started his travel, and across the ocean he was traveling. And during that time he have visited many islands. Okay, so he have visited many islands, and through his visit he have observed very closely the nature, and his observation and his that he have very closely observed the nature. So in that close observation he have collected some of the data. So his return, okay, so for 5 years he was traveling like this. Okay, so in ship he was traveling in this way. So after 5 years, when Darwin returned back, then what he did, he all the collected information and that observation, what he did, he brought a revolutionary hypothesis in the world of evolution. Okay, so it was his collected information gave a revolutionary hypothesis that how the way of life changes over time. Clear, my dear student? So today we are going to learn about Darwin theory. Okay, so Darwin theories. So Charles Darwin, so his you can see the time period 1809 to 1882. Clear? So this phase you should keep in mind. Okay. So my dear student, now let us learn about Darwin's theory, Darwinism. So, my dear student, Charles Robert Darwin was undoubtedly the first naturalist who put the idea of organic evolution on sound footing. Darwin published his theory of evolution with compelling evidence in his 1859 book on the origin of species. So my dear student, undoubtedly, okay, there is no doubt that Charles Darwin was the first naturalist who put the idea of organic evolution, okay, on the sound footing. So he brought actually that how the way of life changes over the time period on the earth, okay. So all the observation, all the data collected by Darwin was published in a book, and the name of the book is On the Origin of Species, and it was published in the year 1859. Okay, so you should keep in mind his statements and theories were based upon practical experience and large number of proofs which he collected directly from the nature. So his statements and the theories were directly based on the practical experience which he experienced from the nature. All his proof was directly connected with the nature, because of which it was greatly accepted by the world. Okay. So my dear student, his main ideas about evolution are given below. So now let us know about the main ideas about evolution that was forwarded by Charles Darwin. So first he talked about overproduction of offspring. So he said that overproduction of offspring. So his main idea about evolution, overproduction of offspring. So despite the rate of reproduction of a species, its number remains constant under fairly stable environment. So he said that overproduction of offspring or overpopulation, we may say. So you may see that for example, you can take one example, okay. For example, master, okay, master seed, master plant. Can you remember master plant? So from one master plant we may get, okay, more than 50,000 master plant. So can you imagine that one master plant can give rise to 50,000 master plant? So similarly, it was about the plant. Now an example of animal, for example, an animal like salmon fish, okay. So salmon fish, what happen, from yearly a salmon fish may give 3 crore eggs. It may lay 3 crore eggs. Now can you imagine that if from that eggs, okay, the salmon fish, the, okay, hatches, and same salmon fish numbers are going on increasing, what would happen? One day there will be scarcity of food and space, isn't it? So what happen? What nature will do? Nature will resist the number, and nature will give, what happen? Nature will resist, give a resistance, so that there should be a constant number of species in a population, in an area, okay. So because of which, what happened, despite the rate of reproduction of a species, its number remain constant. So how the number are remaining constant? Then you will find that in an area there will be always a number in a constant. So how? This is because of nature, okay. So nature will decide that how much number of that population of species should be there, so in fairly stable environment, okay. So Darwin want to convey that although there is overpopulation, okay, then also you will find that nature will resist that number and it will bring to a constant value. So this is the idea that was forwarded by Darwin after his observation in natural environment. Clear? So you understood? So first his idea was overproduction of offspring. Clear? Okay. So next he talk about struggle for existence. So now you see when so first overpopulation, okay. So when it become overpopulation, then what would happen? Okay, so nature is trying to resist its now the number of species through different activities. Then also if there is population increases, then what will be there? Struggle for existence. So struggle for existence will arise from overpopulation, isn't it? So limited resources of our environment are causes of struggle for existence, isn't it? So all of you know that if there is shortage of resources in environment, then what will happen? It will directly give rise to struggle for existence. Now struggle for existence may be of three types. So number one, intra-specific struggle. Okay, so struggle for existence may be of three type. Number one is intra-specific. So when that term intra, so intra means within. Okay, so it is the struggle between the members of the same species for precisely similar needs. So intra-specific, that means within the same species, okay, members of the same species. For example, human being, you can consider a population of human being. Okay, we all are same species, that is human. Okay, human population, and within the member, if there is struggle for food, okay, so different needs are there, food, for space, then we will say that this is a intra-specific struggle for existence. Understood? Now another is interspecific. So it is the struggle between individuals of different species for food and space. Okay, now for example, now more often you will hear that some elephant are attacking the villager. Okay, they are invading some lands. Okay, the crops have been destroyed, and this all. Again, what happened? Human being are going and capturing the land of the animals, which animals for several years they have been living. They are, human being are actually destroying the home and habitat of other wild animal. As a result, what happened? Wild animal are also coming to the place of human habitat. So here what happened? This is a proper example of interspecific struggle for existence. Here what happened? For food or space, what happened? Between the different species, struggle is going on. Okay, then number three is environment. It is the struggle between organism against unfavorable environmental condition. So environment is another through which what happen, organism are struggling. For example, high temperature, okay, heavy rainfall, flood. So natural flood. So here what happen, organism are struggling with the environment. If it is too cold, what happen, organism are struggling. So these are some struggle for existence. So each and every individual is struggling for existence on the earth, and here what happen, you will find that constantly this thing are going on. So this thing was very closely observed by Darwin, and he have forwarded this statement. Clear? So first main point that Darwin mentioned was overpopulation. Okay, then second one was struggle for existence, and the third one is survival of the fittest. So my dear students, survival of the fittest, it is a very well very well and renowned, very famous quote everybody have heard. Then whenever we talk about the Darwin, we always say that survival of the fittest. Now let us know that what Darwin actually mean by survival of the fittest. That means in environment what happen, okay, so an organism capacity to survive and reproduce in a given environment. So survival of the fittest, it means that an organism capacity to survive in the environment and to reproduce in that environment. Here fitness starts in gene. So that fitness we are talking about, that fitness actually, or that fitness will starts from gene. That is the genotype, that gene genetic makeup, and the phenotype, okay, that the appearance, and not necessarily fastest or strongest. So here the fitness means genotypically fit and phenotypically fit, okay, that organism. Now genotype means genetic makeup of an individual. That means what are the different types of gene that are present, and what is the capacity of that gene, how they can adjust in the environment. Okay, a phenotype means that your appearance, color, okay, color of your body, hair, then your external appearance, so it indicates phenotype. Clear? So fitness does not mean that if somebody is very fast he can survive, or if somebody is more strongest, okay, it does not mean that strongest one will survive and all will be finished. This statement means that genetically who is more fit to survive in the environment, genetically who can adapt the environmental condition. Okay, but okay, so fitness starts in genes and not necessarily fastest or strongest, but the best advantage. So who can show the best advantage, who can take the best advantage. Okay, now for example, owl, you have seen bird owl, what happened at daytime, okay, as they cannot see, that time what they are doing, they are opening their eyes and they are sleeping, as if it seems that they can see whatever thing is around them, isn't it? So this is the best advantage they are taking. They show that in nature what happened, they can see everything, but actually they cannot see at daytime. We know all cannot see at daytime, but if you see any owl, that bird, you'll feel that they can see. Okay, so this is the best advantage they can show. Clear? So these are some best advantage, so they are taking this best advantage to survive in the nature. So reproduction as an important as survival. So reproduction is also very important. So for any species to remain on the nature, what happen, they should be able to reproduce. Then what happen, survival of the fittest, this statement will be very true. So fitness involves survival and reproduction. So how you can survive yourself in the nature and reproduction also, this both go together to show the survival of the fittest. Okay, an organism capacity to survive and reproduce in a given environment. So this shows survival of the fittest. Okay, then my dear student, another main idea that Darwin forwarded in his theory was universal occurrence of variation. So variation, okay, so in within a population, okay, species, within the same species you will find that no any individual is similar. Okay, some of their general organ and this all will be same. You can take the example of human being itself. In your family itself you will see that we, okay, in our family also we can say that we all are human being, right? We belong from a same species, but we don't look alike. Okay, our look is also different, although we are human being, but our some characters are different. Clear? So this uniqueness, okay, so this is universal occurrence of variation. So this is because of gene variation, okay, genetic variation. So what happened, Darwin also talk about universal occurrence of variation. So this thing happened in environment because of variation in gene. Okay, but unfortunately Darwin cannot explain germ cell again about the genetic. Okay, so this is a we can say a disadvantage of Darwin theory, that he cannot explain about genetics. Okay, then my dear student, number 5th point what he said is natural selection. So this is a very important point of Darwin theory, that is natural selection. So survival of the fittest, we can say it is giving directly an indication towards the natural selection. So what is natural selection? It is the process by which the organism appear physically, physiologically and behaviorally better adapted to the environment, survive and reproduce, and those organisms not so well adapted either fail to reproduce or die. So my dear student, natural selection means what? It is the process by which organism appear physically, physiologically. Okay, physically means You have understood physically, and physiologically means internal whatever activity, okay, processes are going on, about that we are talking. And behaviorally means their behavior, okay, better adapted to environment. So those organism who can adapt to the environment better through all three we can say component, they can survive and reproduce, okay, they can only be selected by nature. And those who cannot so well adapt to their environment, or either they will fail to reproduce or they will die, okay. So physically, then physiologically and behaviorally, if organism is not been able to adjust to the environment, okay, then they cannot survive, they will either fail to reproduce or they will die. So this is the meaning of natural selection. So nature will select in this way. That means natural selection will be if an organism is not able to adapt the environment, cannot adjust to the environment physically, physiologically or behaviorally, then what they will do, directly there will be effect in their reproduction. And once they cannot reproduce, okay, either they cannot reproduce, so if they don't have any reproduction capacity, what happen, that species slowly and slowly they will try to disappear, okay. And if they are not able to reproduce, some may be not able to reproduce, and some, as they are not able to adjust to the environment, they will die. So this is the meaning of natural selection. So my dear student, I hope that you have understood Darwin theory. So these are the 5 main ideas of evolution forwarded by Charles Darwin in his theory, okay. So number 1 is he talk about overpopulation, right. So number 2 he explained about struggle for existence. Number 3 survival of the fittest. Number 4 universal occurrence of variation. And number 5 natural selection, okay. So my dear student, I hope that you have understood Darwinism. So next class we will continue with other theories of organic evolution. So thank you and have a good